What do you call a knight made entirely of fine china? Ceramic. Hello and welcome to Assorted Meeples. I'm Phillip the Meeple on duty, and today we are taking a first look at Microcosmos by Assorted Games. Now, this is my third recording trying to get a good video out of it, and I am terribly sorry. It's not because this game is hard or terrible, it's because I'm me and I have high expectations of what I want to do, and I rambled too much in the first two without a point. So, let's just go ahead and get right into it. The Great War ended. The last Voltarian fleet had been destroyed, and the remains of their forces have scattered into the unknown sectors. This is a moment to celebrate and take a deep breath of relief after years of constant conflict. Unfortunately, not all can find joy in these difficult times. Hundreds of worlds lay in ruins as the Voltarian weaponry left whole planets in a critical state. Ravaged landscapes, demolished cities, and civilizations wiped out almost entirely. As a result, billions sought refuge on other planets in hopes of returning to their abandoned homes. A newly formed unison called the Galactic Alliance took upon itself to fix the damage caused by the Great War and bring back the damaged planets into a habitable state and provide a home for various species spread across the galaxy. In order to aid this process, the Galactic Alliance ordered the construction of interplanetary terraforming arcs, ITAs. These colossal spaceships have been sent out into various sectors in order to gather resources and, using advanced geoengineering techniques, bring back life into worlds destroyed in the Great War. It is your duty as the main commander of one of the arcs to terraform as many worlds as possible and scout the desolate planets in search of survivors. Gather resources, command your leaders and specialists, create colonies, and develop technologies which will help you with your mission. Make your mark in the galaxy's history as the transformer of worlds and savior of civilizations. Now, Assorted Games has put out quite a few games, starting with, I do believe their first was A4 Page Quest, followed by Micro City, then Skyline Express, which is right here on the shelf. It's gonna stay there too because I really enjoy it. Then there was this, Microcosmos, and then their newest Kickstarter Game Found. Was it Game Found? I think it was Game Found this time. Was Micro Architects, which was a re-implementation into a small box of Skyline Express. So didn't need to follow that one. We did some coverage on it because I just enjoy the company. What brought me to Assorted Games first was their A4 Page Quest. I saw that and I was very curious and kind of started following them. I didn't back Micro City at all, so I have nothing to speak on that. But Skyline Express is amazing, and this game is actually quite fabulous. I've only played it solo. I want to get Heather to play it with me, and I want to get the Meeples to play it because I think this is our jam. As much as we like Tiny Epic Galaxies and the questions you have to answer in that game, I love what it's doing, and I definitely want to get into it more with them. The other thing that I really like about it is this is three guys that are Polish, and they still work full-time jobs working on their games outside of that. They deliver pretty close to on time, being that they have full-time jobs that is not making board games. So, these guys deserve your support and respect because they are doing what a lot of companies can't. What is Microcosmos? Microcosmos is it's a resource management, action selection, and a little bit of an engine builder, but a lot of resource management, people management game that really hits home for me, that does a very good job of creating. I mean, this game takes up most of my table, even though it's a small box game. I mean, this thing is tiny, but just like Tiny Epic games, it takes up a lot of space on the table, which, you know, you can shove a lot of game into a very small box. You don't need a huge box. Looking at you, I mean, there's Dice Throne. I have all of Marvel United taking up all my shelf, and this game does a very good job with very few, well, actually, there's a lot of components, but we'll get into that later. So yeah, after the Great War, you are reestablishing civilizations on planets that have been just utterly destroyed by it. The game ends. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes, keeping myself on track today. The game ends when 3 planets have been terraformed, and then everybody gets one more turn after that to finish up things. And I think it's a great mechanic. If somebody just guns for terraforming, yeah, the game's over quick, which is actually pretty fun. But if everybody kind of does a lot of other things besides terraforming, you'll get a lot of playtime. The scoring element in this I find really interesting. Across the top of your planets, so I've got one right here. So the planets each have 2 sides. I know it's going to be hard to see. I will try and get a slide up of the planets. So there's the unterraformed side, and then there's the terraformed side. On the terraformed side, all you have is the planet and then a couple of resources that it generates. On the unterraformed side, you have, down in this lower corner, you have resources that are needed to get it terraformed again. And then up here, you have a track that you follow. Anytime that you generate, or you put resources out to terraform this planet, your space goes up 1 on here. When this planet is either terraformed and flipped over, or the game ends, you get a point for each level. So if you get up to level 7, you get 7 points. Now, if and when this is terraformed, the person who is highest on this track gets 3 extra points. Second place gets 1. Everybody else after that gets Bupkis. I think it's a really great scoring mechanic through the middle of the game. And this is the only way, like, these guys are the only way that you get extra scoring mechanics. Or extra scoring during the game. That's not true entirely. There are a few other ways you can get a few points, but not a lot of points. This is the big bonuses through the middle of the game to get you a lead. The other way, there is exponential scoring on having colonies on planets and having survivors settled on planets. And those go up the more you get, the higher the ranking of points. And that's kind of leading me to where the rules are. This game is very simple and straightforward. This rule card is absolutely fantastic for grouping it together, and the way, actually, and in the order that it is in the rule book. Very nicely done. The first thing you can do is upgrade your arc or your ship. So if you have the resources and you want to, you can upgrade your ship. This gives you extra colonies to get on the planets. This gives you, and once you unlock 2 from, there's a couple that will unlock a trade depot, which when put down on a planet will get you a resource when anybody goes to that planet. Or when you move that, put it down, you get 2 points. And you can keep moving that around planet to planet. I would heavily suggest getting robotics right away at the start of the game. That way, anytime you go to a planet, you can take multiple actions. Then you can travel. Your ships start at 2 each, and then they go on and you can upgrade those so you can move up to 6 per turn. What I really like about the movement is it's up to, so you don't have to go the full distance. Then you're going to play a crew card, or up to 2 crew cards. What I like about this is you're going to you have your cargo hold, and then on top of and bottom, and the edge that's touching, if it matches the color of planet or the space that you're on, you can use that card and gain the benefits stated on the card. Absolutely fabulous. Creates a very interesting way to build your engine and move along. And then if it's on the bottom, it can move to the top. If it's on the top, it can just be, or once you use it, it's discarded. Good mechanics, or you can just discard right out of the way. Very good mechanics on those cards. They create a lot of systems that go well together that create more depth and more ways to get rather than just move, pick up, deliver, pick up, deliver. It gets some good choices going for you. Next, you have wherever you're at, whether you're on a planet or whether you're on a moon or a space station or the star portal, you can take up to, you get one action, or if you have robotics, you can take two. Now, these things include gathering resources, which the planet lists what they give you, terraforming, which moves you up the track and gets you points and moves you towards ending the game. Scout is where you look for survivors, and you have to use a leader of the color of the planet you're on. So there's red, blue, and green on the color that you are. So if you're on a red planet, you got to use a red leader. If you flip it upright and the background color is red, not only do you get the resources, but you bring that survivor onto your arc. You can have 3 of these at a time on your arc, and then the next thing you can do is settle. If there is a terraformed planet, you can go there of that color. So if you pick up a survivor that is a yellow or a green survivor, if there's a green terraformed planet, you can go to that planet, drop them off, and you just flip it over. And at the end of the game, if you get one settler, it's 5 points, then 12, 20, 30, 40, for however many you get. There are lots of ways to score a lot of bonus points in this game without actually terraforming. I find that really interesting, and I don't know, until I get into a game with a lot of people, I will not know how much that affects the game of going for other things as opposed to just going for terraforming. You can create a colony. You can take one of the colonies you've unlocked, put it down. What that allows you to do is, oh gosh, my brain just quit on me. Oh, right. Colonies really don't do anything for you, but generate points at the end of the game. Wow, I'm terrible. Please forgive me. And then establishing a trade post. Again, when you unlock them, you get 5 points right away when you unlock them. When you drop it down on a planet, you get 2 points. And then anytime that you move the trade depot, you get 2 points. Anytime somebody lands on the planet with your trade depot, you get the resources there. You get one of the resources there. And then when you're at the star portal, a moon, or a space station, you can either gather resources or gain crew tokens, gain crew cards. So whatever they say, that's what you get. This has a very intense but easy to follow iconography that they have on the back of the rule book here, and it's intense until you figure it out, and once you figure it out and lock it in mentally, then it's easy to follow what's going on. And that's all the rules for the game. So you're just gonna upgrade your ship if you want, move, you have to move, can't double back, and you can't land where you started. You play crew cards, up to 2 of those, and then you do your destination actions of wherever you stopped your movement at. The game starts with a board of 4 cards out, so there's an extra 5 that you can go. You're making a 3x3 grid. The playmat that I got makes that really easy to set up and clear to follow. One more page here of notes. So many notes. Legal pads. I found little legal pads and I like them. The only problem is they're yellow. So let's get into the things I liked and didn't like about this game. The components. The components are top notch. What I really like is they unlocked each civilization's own style of colony in color, and everything's screen printed for each player color. I find it absolutely fabulous, and it would have changed the whole dynamic of the game, and I really enjoy it. This is like, I went the extra. I got the playmat. I got the extra cargo holds that are double layered, dual layered, so that my pieces just don't slide around and fall off. They're a little loose in their holding of things, but that's not bad. Rather than too tight, I'd rather have it a little looser there. There's a lot of game in this box. Like, this does things that I was not expecting, and I was expecting quite a bit from it, knowing what I've played in Skyline Express. So I'm very happy for what I got out of this box. I would honestly say this is probably, I need to play Tiny Epic Galaxies again and get out Small Star Empires and really kind of cross-check against those. But this is a lot deeper. That just the base game is a lot deeper than Small Star Empires, which that was their first game, so I give them all credit for that. Is it Arcana Studios? Which, waiting on a game for them to get here anytime now, but this is a lot deeper than that. It also feels almost a lot cleaner than Tiny Epic Galaxies, but again, I need to play them again a little more to fully get a grip of what's going on or how they compare and all that. So I might have to borrow Callahan's copy. But before I borrow Callahan's copy, I probably should get the other 3 games of his I have. Some content filmed for those, and then give it back, because I'm sure he wants them back. There is a lot of game here. You're going to play with 4 of the same worlds, and then 5 different ones, and you're not going to, like, the variation in there is not going to be the same every time. There's enough planets that each gameplay is going to feel different for a long time, even if you're used to the same routes, because different planets are going to pop up at different times. People can take different strategies. I find it to be very interesting, and I need more plays to really see how this plays out. I have not played with the expansion content yet, or the small campaign that they built for this as well. My one complaint about this is that the races do not play any factor. It just changes the look of your bridge and your card. You don't get asymmetrical powers based on your ship, based on your species that you are. The cons, when you get all the exclusives and stuff like that, I had to take out, they had little card holder trays in here. I had to take them out the box because there's too much in here for those to be in here as well. That's my only complaint, and if that's your only complaint about your box size and all that, that's really well. Everything packs in here, but I had to remove it and kind of shuffle things around. It's not ideal for what I want, but it all fits. It's just not necessarily as pretty as it could be, but they got a lot of game into a very small box. The rule book already has a FAQ up on Board Game Geek because it came with some misprints. It came with some very unclear portions, but when Visceroy discovered this, the first thing they started doing is bringing in a FAQ and getting it up as fast as they could so that people could have a resource to go to when they were confused from those printing errors. This is a small publisher. This is a very small rule book to write everything in. My only thing that I wish they would have done, so instead of putting their pages like this, with the size of it, it almost would have worked better to lay it out like a notebook that flips up and you read top to bottom rather than across the pages. Some of these errors that are in here, these guys, English is their second language. They are Polish to start, so I fully get that one when you're not even speaking your own language and making a rule book for everybody to read in another language. So those are the main things that I had against the game. But otherwise, I really enjoy this. I want to get, actually, it stayed on this table for my game table for a long time, and the kids have left it alone. But it's a pretty darn good game that I want to explore more with getting Heather to play and the Meeples to play. So if you can get your hands on a copy of this, I almost recommend getting your hands on a copy of this if you can, because it'll be worth the money that you're paying, and it does not take up an insane amount of shelf space. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next time. All right, bye.
If you like what you just saw, please support us by hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel for more great gaming content.